UHD, also short on time.
B, Washington County, I got all night.
E2BAX, 7-3, I got all night.
E2BOE, Ted, Hudson Falls, Prospect.
Here is Whiskey Bravo 2, Mike Juliet Hotel, WB2MJH. On Prospect, it's Len in Argyle.
This is KD2 LMR, Dave in Salem, through Prospect.
This is K2RT, Tina in Cambridge on Prospect, and I'll be in and out.
This is W2SOX, Kyle here in Queensbury, coming through Prospect.
Okay, we're off to a really good start here. I'm going to mix up the order a little bit, so pay close attention. We're going to start the net off with KD2RTJ, but I'm going to take Teddy and Isaiah and shift them up. So KD2RTJ, you pass it over to KD2UHF. Teddy, you pass it to your brother, KD2UHD. Isaiah, you pass it to KD2VJD, Victor Juliet Delta. That's Scott. Scott, you pass it over to W2PLK. That's Ron. Ron, pass it over to Josh. Josh, you pass it up to K2JOJ. Tom, you pass it to Chris, AS2V. Chris, you pass it over to K2NB over in Cambridge. Gary, you pass it over to Tony. Tony, you pass it to Ted. Ted, you pass it up to Lenny. Lenny, you pass it over to Dave, KD2LMR. And then Dave, you pass it over to W2SOX. And Tina, I have you in and out. N1NDN, net control, up to KD2RTJ in for one round.
Thank you, Bernie. This is KD2RTJ on my portable in my living room in Fort Edward. I'm only in one round. We're playing with this new Apple TV box I got. The picture is 4K. It's extraordinary. I'm trying to finish setting it up. I even got my HBO Max on it. We got other apps we got to set up with it. And so I'll be doing that tonight. But nothing's really changed. Still working. Works good. In the hours in. And health is good. Wendy and I are doing pretty good. Both eat better now and trying to lose more weight. Oh, just wondering, I didn't hear Frank out there, but I was wondering how Debbie was. So I don't know if I'll hear him or not. But anyways, that's all I got to say. This is the only round I'm going to be in. And it's going to be over to you, Teddy, KD2 UHF from KD2.
KD2UHF, are you there? All right, what about KD2UHD? All right, I guess when they said they were short on time, they weren't fooling. KD2VJD, Scott, go ahead.
Thank you, Bernie. Yeah, this is Scott over in Queensbury. Not too much going on over here. I just signed up to take my general next month, so I'm very excited about that. And the UPS guy just about 2 hours ago dropped off my new IC 7300, which is very confusing to me right now, but I'm been spending all morning studying antennas and other things, so hopefully by the time I have my license, I'll have a little bit of a clue how to use this thing. And that's it for me for round one. and I will pass it to W2PLK. This is KD2VJD.
Thanks, Scott, and congratulations on your new radio. You're going to like it a lot. I have one, and once you get past the initial impression, which I guess can be a little intimidating if you haven't seen one before, you'll find it's very intuitive. It's a great radio, in my humble opinion, and I'm not all that experienced, but I like it a lot. And not much going on here. I was looking at another radio that was recommended to me, but I'm sure it's going to be all sold out by the time I make up my mind. But I'll have to wait for something else, I guess. I need a better radio. What I have is, I shouldn't say. I got a cool radio. And I'm going to, where am I going? I'm going to Josh from W2PLK.
WCR repeater.
Thank you, N1ZGA. Josh, this is Tom here, coming to you from West Mountain. And a little tip for anybody over 60. Don't bother going to CVS or Walgreens to look for a COVID vaccine shot. They're always out, so to speak. But if you go to vaccinefinder.com, you're going to find there's plenty available. And I got signed up for this weekend for my shot and my wife. Just that easy. So it's vaccinefinder.com. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Chris, AF2B, from Tom, K2JOJ.
Thanks, Tom. Oh, let's see here. I did promise people I'd say some stuff tonight, so I'll probably make it short. One hell of a week. Work sucked. That's the short of that. I learned a new skill this week thanks to Bernie. I've got my ham shack hotline where I need it in my shack. Got some wiring done. Bernie came over and helped me learn how to do Ethernet cable and build those, because I've never done it before. So thanks to Bernie for that. So now I'm awesomely skilled at it now. No, not really. I could probably buffle through it. Let's see what else. Not a lot of radio this week because I've been just not doing a lot of radio other than the nets. Yeah, that's pretty much the end of it, man. I mean, I know I usually have a lot, but I did promise something, so I got you something. All right, that's enough. Gary's probably got a lot more to talk about than I do, so K2MB from AS2V.
Thank you, K2NB. I don't have a whole lot to talk about, though. I have a couple new radio operators here in Cambridge, and got my hands full with that. What comes around goes around. Tony took me under his wings, and if I can help somebody, that's the way that works. So you've been hearing a couple of new. They've been on a couple of the repeaters. I'm sure a few of you have heard them. They're decent boys. I got a couple new radio operators. I'm happy about it. Get some other people in Cambridge and local. It's all good. And with that, I'll send it over to Tony, my good buddy Tony there, KA2BIX from K2NB, clear.
K2NB, K2BX. Thanks, Gary. Any friend of yours is a friend of mine. And so I'll have to make sure you tell them that to remind me that they're friends of yours. That's all you got to do is tell them if they hear my voice on the radio. That's all. I got a package state of mail too. I got two beautiful 2980s. I'll tell you, beautiful radios. I'll tell you, for $150, you can't beat these radios. I'll tell you that right now. Wow, they're beautiful. 80 watts. Oh, they're beautiful. 2-meter rigs. That's what you want for $150. That's the radio you want for your truck, or your car, or your base. Where you want to have a good 2-meter radio. There's the one you want from Yaesu. And they've still got a bunch of them down at HRO. So if you're looking for a 2-meter rig, that's what you want. Right there, put on base. I'll tell you, I'm glad I got them. I'm glad I bought them. I was having a holler about buying only one, but then turned around and bought two. So I got one for my truck this spring to put in my truck. I'm glad I did. And we had a great breakfast today. Great breakfast. We had 12, 13 people there. Everybody was having a lot of fun. We didn't get out of there almost 12:30. Then we went outside for a little while. It got cold, and I went home. I said, that's it. Too cold for me. But let me roll this. And then I came home, but some of the guys still stood outside there. And I don't know, Tom. Well, half my family all got getting their shots at CVS this Saturday. Starting tomorrow and Saturday. I don't know. They all signed up for tomorrow and Saturday. You just got to get there early in the morning and sign up. That's all. They're all set. And I got mine last week and a half ago, and then I get my second one in March 13th. So I don't know. You just got to get on the phone early. That's all you got to do, Tom. And we're all set. Tomorrow, my daughter, my aunt, or not my aunt, my wife's aunt, and my other daughter gets it shots too for Saturday, Sunday. So you just got to keep trying. They are giving them, but you just got to be there when they hand them out. That's all. Well, anymore. Let's turn it over to just the professor. KC2BLE, KTBX.
Thanks, Tony. Yeah, breakfast was good this morning. And, it's always a good day. Always a good day. Not too much else going on here. As a matter of fact, not too much of anything going on here. I get my second shot Saturday. So, I'll be good to go after that. And, can't think of anything else, so, I'll turn it over to that guy, throw it over towards Argyle. WB2, MJH, KC2BLE.
Okay, thank you, Teddy. And, the breakfast was really good. I was there too, and it was like a one big party. And I guess we were there for almost 4 hours. I don't know, because I think I got there. It was before 9, about 8:30, and we didn't get out of there till about 12. So it was a good 3 hours. Wow. Yeah, it went very fast, and everything was good. Service was good. We all had a very, very nice time. So, if anybody can make it, I sure recommend it to anybody. Let me roll this. I do have something for sale. I'm kind of racking my mind. Most of my stuff is kind of vintage stuff, and I don't think there's too many vintage collectors around here. But I do have some Johnson kilowatt matchboxes. They're about a foot square, and they will match anything up to thousands of watts. I mean, they're just real brutes, but they're very easy to use, and they are perfect with a doublet antenna if you have a balanced line. And if anybody wants one, they can have it for $400. These all look like brand new. They're really nice. Anyway, just thought I'd throw it in case somebody wanted one. I'll turn it over to Dave and see what he's got for us. Go ahead, Dave.
Thank you. This is KD2LMR. Appreciate it, Len. Not a heck of a lot going on over here. Mostly just work for the most part. Haven't been able to play radio at all. My hope was since my half of the room here is a shack and the other half is work office space, I thought I'd be able to have the radio on a little bit more often, and I can't even turn the darn thing on in order to concentrate for work. So it is what it is, but I have gotten out on a day off, done some POTA, and hoping to do some more, although the weather is not looking too great for this weekend, Vern. But and that's always a lot of fun to be able to do that. So, yeah, also wanted to say congrats to, I think it was KD2 BGD, who got the IC 7300. I also have one, and really, really like it a lot. You know, I think about upgrading here and there, but gosh, you know, the 7300 really does everything I needed to do, so I probably will not be upgrading in the near future. But anyway, that's it for me for now, and I guess I pass it over to W2SOX, who I'm assuming is not a Yankees fan. Over to you from KD2LMR.
W2WCR repeater.
Absolutely not. Good evening, everyone. Good to hear you all in there. Haven't been playing much radio either. Forgot who said they haven't had a chance to turn it on. But yeah, me either. I haven't made a HF contact since the 6th. I was looking at QRZ earlier, and I'm hopping on as many nets as I can. It's been really busy. I got my my scholarship approved for my CDL class, so I'm on the waiting list for that. I should start in the next couple of weeks, so I'm pretty excited about that. I also picked up a VHF repeater for $50 Tuesday. The only problem is the duplexer inside is too wide of a split for me. I think it does something crazy, like maybe 8 megahertz timed out there. It does something crazy like 8 megahertz, but it's got 2 Motorola M120s in them, which are basically the GM 300s, but with only 2 channels. So I'm thinking about splitting that box apart and taking the radios out of it and possibly making a all-star node. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Not much else going on here. I got some other stuff to talk about, but we'll save those for the next couple go-arounds. And I believe I pass it back to Net Control. Back to you, Bernie. This is W2SOX.
Thanks, Kyle. N1 NDN here. Let's take a pause and see if we get some more check-ins to the Thursday night Rag2Net. Anybody, anywhere?
Bernie, KD2 RTG, I can go another round. I have a couple questions.
All right, you're in for another round. Anybody else? All right, we'll keep the list the same as what we had before. Scott, I'll throw in my 10 cents worth in. I've owned multiple 7300s, and they are they're good radios. It's just a good all-around radio. I'm kind of interested in the Yaesu FT10 DX, I think it is. That's the new one from Yaesu that's supposed to have a lot of characteristics of the FT101, but it's more in price range with the 7300, except the 7300's on sale right now. I think you can get those for about $1,100, and the FT10 is still full price, like $1,700. So I don't know. I think I'd buy a 7300 and save the money myself. I don't know if the FT10 is all that and a bag of chips or not. And things for sale. I have a Tentec tuner. It's a model 238. It's a 1.5 kilowatt tuner and handles 10 through 160. So that's $200. And Lenny, those matchboxes are definitely nice units, but boy, they go back to the back into the 50s or 60s, I think. But still, I've seen those at Hamfest, and they're monster tuners. So that's a good deal. That's it. Okay. For now, we'll pass it right back up to KD2RTJ, and Mike, you pass it over to KD2VGAD. N1 NDN.
Thank you, Bernie. I just had a question about the vaccine. My wife's trying to look it up. The vaccine site that's out nearby to get a vaccination. And anyway, that was a major question. I'll stick around to listen to that, and I'm going to probably watch TV after this round. And Bernie, I'm going to send it back to you because I don't have a pen and paper in front of me. I didn't write the call sign down. I know it's not Theodore. Teddy.
Okay. Well, I did want to throw out a correction. That site that Tom mentioned is vaccinefinder.org, not .com. Vaccinefinder.org, and it does a really good job of listing out all the sites that are available. The only curiosity that I have is I think the pharmacies are still doing people 65 and up, and that's it. It's not doing the people with the well, they call it comorbidities. What a crazy word that is. So anyway, if anybody knows the clear answer on that, I'd be interested to know. We're trying to get my wife in, but she's not 65 yet. But she does have the comorbidities. So if anybody knows the clear answer to that, educate me. Back to you, Scott. N1NDN.
Thank you, Bernie. It's nice to hear everyone giving the recommendations for the radio. Feels good. Feel like I made a decent choice. Yeah, I also wanted to ask if anyone knows the answer. I got a radiogram in the mail. You know, I just got my license last month, so I'm just a little confused with the etiquette with that. Apparently, it originated in Wisconsin, and a station in Malta sent me a written radiogram. And I just want to know if that's something I should respond to or not. If it is, I've been kind of looking up online. I can't really get a good answer for it. But yeah, if anyone would tell me if I respond to the originator or to the secondary station in Malta, you know, I just don't want to be kind of rude and not respond if I should. And yeah, that's it for me. With that, I'll pass it to Ron, W2PLK. This is KD2 VJD.
Thank you. Yeah, I forgot about that radiogram. I got a phone call a few weeks ago from a guy who read me a radiogram. I don't know anything about that. It kind of surprised me. But there is an instructor, or he bristles at the term instructor, but anyway, he's the guy who leads one of the CW classes I'm in, and he does a lot of message transfer practice, and I don't know whether it originated with him or his group or what, but I guess that's a short way of my responding to you, Scott, saying I don't know either. But I know that Josh does, so let's go ask him from W2PLK.
Now I'll keep all that information with you, Josh. Tom here, and thank you, Bernie. That was vaccinefinder.org, and I was on CBS this morning, nothing available, and then I happened to find out about vaccinefinder.org, and got on there and found out the CBS had all kinds of openings. So down the road, I guess keep checking that vaccinefinder.org, and they list all the places that are available where you can have shots. So as more open up, I just keep that in mind. So with that, I'm going to pass it on to Chris, AF2V, from Tom, K2JOJ.
Thank you, Tom. You know, I did think of something that I could say. It took me a minute, but so I've been trying to learn CW lately, and I went out on a limb and tried to make a bunch of contacts. So I did a couple of contacts on my own and made a few. So I got a couple there. And then when they did the Hamcation, the Orlando thing contest, I got all 9 stations, and 3 of them were also CW. So I made those contacts. But the whole point of this is the other day, I got my first QSL card from the contact, one of the contacts I made from a guy in, I think he's in Illinois. Yep, Illinois. So he sent me a QSL card from our contact, which I thought was pretty cool. That's my first CW QSL card, so pretty proud of that. Yeah, okay, that's about it. Over to Gary, K2MB from AS2B.
K2NB, thank you again, Chris. Okay, what's new? Tactical antenna on biofangs, a little handheld. eBay or Amazon, you can pick them up now for 15 or 16 bucks. They're 31, 32 inches tall. They fold up. Couple, 2 or 3 spots they fold, and they're awesome. I mean, can't beat them. We recommend that if you got a handheld that you try one of them. I toss my radio in the back seat, and I stick the antenna out the back window, you know, crack the window down and slide it out the window, and with a hand mic, I'm good to go. It's just like having a real radio in the vehicle with you. So I figured I would share that with everybody. With that, I'll send it over to Tony, K2NB to KA2BIX. Clear.
K2BIX. I've had a few radiograms, and what it is, sometimes they just send you one to take, and it could be different things. One of them could be for a message you pass along something you have to send along on as far as nets and stuff like that to somebody else. But if this one came to you, it just goes to you. And it might be a message congratulating you becoming a ham or upgrading or something like that. I've had a couple come to me when I worked certain countries and stuff like that. I don't know whether it had your name on it or not. You didn't say anything about that. It all depends on what it says on the gram. And it might be a message that they want you to forward on a net. So I don't know. You didn't say that. You have to tell me what the rest of it is. You know, but usually if you're a new ham, then they're congratulating you what they're doing. That's generally what they do. That's what they are. Because I've had a few of them over the years. Oh, what else is going on here? Oh yeah. No. Like I said, let me roll this. Gary said you can pick up those Wolfbanks really reasonable. But for a few dollars more, you can get the 8 watters, which are 7 or 8 watters, and they're a little bit better. Even though they're Wolfbanks, they are a little bit better, and they get out a little bit better. So it's better to pay a few bucks more and get the little bit more stronger ones, and you will get out a lot better. And you know, maybe have a 5 watter, like Gary said, just to have banging around. But the 7 or 8 watters are a little bit better to reach out there and talk to somebody a little bit better. I've got a couple. I've got 8 Wolfbanks right here myself, and they do work excellent. I've had one for, ever since they first put them out. Tom and I first bought them, and they work good. They work very good. I bang them and drop them and everything else. I think TOM, I think he ran one over with a tractor one time, and it still works for him, if I'm not mistaken, unless you finally gave up the ghost. I don't know. But that's what I got going here, and like I said, if you're looking for a mobile, right now's the time to go to HRO. These 2980s, I tell you, 80-watt mobiles are unbelievable. For that price, for $150, you can't beat them. They're knocking off $20 off them, and they're one hell of a mobile. That's all I got. I'm going to turn it over to Ted. KC2BLE, K2BX.
Okay, thanks, Tony. And yeah, sounds like some good deals, some neat stuff. Yeah, the add-ons sometimes make all the difference in the world. Sometimes, and yeah, well, other than that, I don't have anything to add to that. So I'll just send it on over to Lenny. WV2 MJH KAC2 DLA.
Okay, thank you, Ted. And well, good luck with the 2 new radios there, Tony. And looking forward to hearing you on with them. and I'm sure they're going to sound good. And Bernie, yeah, that's my next radio too. Is going to be that FTDX10. The 101, it's just a little too pricey. I don't think it's worth spending that kind of money, but maybe it is. I don't know. But let me drop this for a sec. The Johnson Matchbox only really has three major parts. It's got two very large tuning capacitors and the coil, and of course it's got some other stuff in there, but nothing that really does anything. Just those three parts. But those tuning capacitors have huge plates on them, heavy, huge plates, and big wide spacing on them, and so forth. And there's nothing made like that today. They just basic, very good. They go from 10, 15, 20, 40, and 80 meters. They don't have 160 on them, unfortunately. But anyway, turn it over to Dave and see what he's got for us. This is WB2MJH.
Okay, Len, thanks very much. This is KD2LMR. Not too much on my end. The vaccines that you guys were talking about earlier, I've had, I know a couple of people who contacted Walgreens or whomever, wherever they were getting it local, and said if they had any left over, or if people didn't show up for their appointment or something like that, to let them know. They put them on some kind of a list, and sure enough, they got a call saying, "Hey, we've got some extra here," or whatever the situation was. They were able to go and get them. But like Bernie said, yeah, unfortunately, for somebody like me, I've got to wait. So I don't qualify for it, unfortunately. But look forward to when I can get it. Ron, I've been meaning to ask you, how have you been liking your Kenwood? I know you've had it for a few weeks now or so. Just wondering how that's working out for you. Beautiful radio. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah, Bernie, I'll be over in about a week or so to take a look at that FT10. I've been wanting to check them out. If you say you're interested, I'll be there in a week to take a look at it. Okay, I'll pass it over to W2SOX from KD2LMR.
W2WCR repeater.
Hey, thank you. And I don't want people to forget about old commercial band or public service band handhelds. That's what I'm using right now. Motorola P110. You can get these things fairly cheap, and you can beat them up just as bad as the Baofangs there. But the only disadvantage is they can be a little tricky to program, and they don't have any soft keys or digital looking face. But man, are they tough, and they sound great too. Someone at work wants me to restore an old General Electric J105. Let me roll up this timeout on this. Is really short. It's a broadcast, and it has a couple shortwave options. It's from 1940. It's got the GE chassis in it. And I'm curious as to where I should buy the capacitors for it. I reached out to Hayseed Hamfest. He's going to look to give me a quote, see what it would be. I was just wondering if anyone had any recommendations for those old paper caps, where I could possibly buy some new ones. All right, I'll save my 7.3s for the last go around, and we'll pass it back to Net. Over to you, Bernie. N1NDN from W2SOX.
N1NDN. Now we got one more go around here. Geez, I had a whole bunch of stuff to talk about. So Scott, the radiogram, as Tony said, there's no reply generally, unless you were past a piece of traffic to move on. But I know that's not the case. So it's probably congratulations for being a new ham. I did want to announce to the net that Rudy, W2JBF, he gets on the weather net every morning. He passed on yesterday. So hopefully the weather net still keeps going. I was going to ask Teddy about that this morning because Dan Gelt and Rudy were the two principals of that net. They kept it going, and now they're both gone. Also wanted to mention that the Zygu G90, that's a 20-watt portable rig, is on sale at Radioddity, and it's a heck of a price. They're bundling the cooling rack and the digital. They got a little box for digital modes, and the cooling rack alone is like $80, and the digital rack's like $40, and anyway, the whole package, everything, all in, $425. That's a hard price to beat because those are nice rigs. Probably shouldn't say this because everyone's going to run and buy one now. I've had my finger on the trigger to buy one of those things since 7 o'clock this morning, and I just can't bring myself around to it because I have a KX3 and I just don't need it. But it's never a question of need with me. It's always a question of, ooh, shiny radio. So, Scott, if you ever need advice on radios, let me know, because I've either owned them or I've seen them, pretty much. I like to play. I really do. Okay, I'll stop blabbing, and we'll throw it up in the air, see if anybody else wants to check in for the last round. This is N1NDN Net Control for the Thursday Night Rag2 Net.
K5 VVI Frank over here in Glens Falls on 7-3.
About time you showed up.
Got a phone call.
All right, we'll let you off the hook this time. At least you made it for round 3. And we got KA5 VVI. Anybody else?
N7SO, Howard and Gansport on 7-3.
Wow, another planet heard from. Okay. KA5 VVI and N7SO. Hello, Howard. Anybody else?
N2MC, November 2, Mike Charlie, Mickey in Glens Falls.
Now, there is a voice I did not expect to hear tonight. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling all right. I still got them. They didn't do anything about them, but they're in there.
Well, hopefully they get out of there. That's the whole idea. Anybody else for the Thursday Night Rag2 Net?
Yeah, you got KD2 VSD. I just remembered you guys were having a net tonight, and I'm checking in. This is Tony.
Hi, Tony. That radio's sounding good. You got KD2 VSD. Anybody else? All right. I did also want to mention, Dave, the weather. Yeah, I was looking at that today. Sunday was supposed to be nice, but now it's not looking so good. Dave and I were going to do a park activation on Sunday. Dave may not want to because he already did his park activation for February, but I slacked and I have to do it because Dave challenged me. So I will be out Sunday morning doing a park on the air activation somewhere. I'm thinking it might be Cambridge. We got a couple parks in Cambridge that we haven't done yet. And Dave, it looks like in the morning the weather might hold out, but the rain's coming in the afternoon. So maybe Sunday morning we can pull one off. I'm still open to Lake St. Catherine, but I hate to drive all the way over there to get rained on. But I do have to come over in the way of Cambridge Sunday anyway. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. But, even if I have to do it with an umbrella, it's going to happen because otherwise I fail your challenge, and I won't do that. Okay, N1NDN in the group. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the people that just checked in and put you to the front of the line. So, Frank, you'll be first. You pass it over to Howard, N7SO. Howard, you pass it over to Mickey, N2MC. Mickey, you pass it over to KD2 Victor Sierra Delta. That's Tony. We tested him on Saturday. And Tony, you pass it over to KD2 Victor Juliet Delta. Pretty close to your call sign. And then Scott, you continue down the list and we'll end it up with Kyle. Thank you, Frank, N1NDN.
Roger. Got a quick question there, Bernie. I know you just said it, but I missed it. What was Rudy's call sign?
W2JVF. I think it's Juliet Victor Hotel.
Okay, I got it that time. I think that's what it was. Okay, thank you for that. This is K5EBI Frank, and from the question of the last go-around, because I've been listening, the National Traffic System, NTS, it's a nationwide thing for ham radio operators, and you can listen every day. It's on 3 or 4 times a day, but you can listen at on 146.91, the Mount Greylock repeater, at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and it's every day. They have them on HF and VHF and UHF, and they have them all across the country. And so if you wanted to send a radiogram to another ham, you can get on those nets and check in and listen a couple of times. They tell you what traffic they need, what kind of information they need from you, and who it's going to, and what information they need. So you can send or receive messages all the time. There's a guy in Albany, W2AP, I think is his call sign, or WO2P. Anyway, he calls me up every now and then. Somebody sends me a radiogram, and he calls me up and reads it to me over the phone because he knows me. But there's guys doing this every day. So listen on 146.91. I know it's at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's probably again at 4 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon on the 9-1 machine where they do it the most around here. There is HF nets you can listen to, but they're few and far between, and when the skip's not in, you don't hear many of them. Anyway, I just thought I'd pass that on, and congratulations on all the new guys coming out here. I'm loving to hear it, and Howard, missed you guys. So I'm going to turn it over to you and say, good to hear you back. K5EBI over to N7SO.
W2WCR repeater.
Who is that guy? Well, thanks, Frank. It's always good to hear your voice. K5EBI, this is N7SO. I tuned in about 7:30, and I heard the name FTDX10 and Bernie in the same sentence. So that intrigued me because of discussions that I've had with you about it, Bernie. And is this really true that you got one? I haven't yet, but I will. But I'm just curious if you did and want to hear more about it, whether it's now or some other time. This is N7SO. Mickey, it's up to you.
Thank you, Howard. This is N2MC. Sorry to hear about Rudy. Yeah, he's been around for a long time. He's over 100 there. So, yeah, that's a sad day on that one. So, yeah, I'm a little late. I've been tending to my gallstones. How's that? So now that can be my middle name. Mickey Gallstones Corrento. But went to try to get them out. Went to the Hudson Headwaters place, the urgent care. They said they took all kinds of things, and then they sent me over to the ER and said, oh, yeah, you got them bad. They'll probably take them out. Get over there, and the guy said, well, no, you're not in enough pain. You got to be in a lot more pain for us to take that out. So my gallbladder's still in there with gallstones, and I'm just trying not to move. So if I move too fast, it hurts. And yeah, so that's my excitement. Not radio excitement, but yeah. And maybe in a week or two, they might take it out. That's what he says. So, disappointing news from me, but yeah. Oh well. Sounds like a fantastic net though, Bernie. I tuned in about 15 minutes ago. Took a good 15 minutes to get through that last round. So awesome. And I'll pass it on to Tony. KD2 VSD. Good to hear you in there. N2MC.
Yeah, thank you, Mickey. KD2 VSD here. Geez, I remember you're talking about your gallstones there.
my dad had that a long time ago. Man, he was doubled over in pain. Of course, it was years and years ago, and it was quite a job doing surgery there. But I guess they've got it pretty streamlined where they do a couple of slits there, so shouldn't be too awful bad as far as recovery when they do finally get you in there. Are they? I wonder if they're delaying all of this because of COVID or what. I'm going to let it roll for a second. Anyways, I want to thank Bernie and Frank, especially two guys that got me rolling on this Baofeng here. I didn't really have any clue whatsoever what I was doing, trying to get this thing to hit the repeaters and everything. Bernie invited me over and punched in a couple of numbers, and I was good to go. And then Frank helped me out on the phone, getting that chirp thing running. And I toyed around with it today, Frank, and added a couple of police frequencies and stuff like that. It seems to work out pretty good. So, geez, the more I play with it, the more I learn. So I'm gonna roll it on to KD2 VJD. This is KD2 VSD. Go ahead.
Thank you, Tony. I want to say thank you to everybody for the response with the radiogram thing, because it's confusing the heck out of me, and you guys cleared it up and then some. Want to say condolences to everyone that knew Rudy. That's very sad news. And Mickey, also sad news. Hopefully you get better. Never thought you'd hear you're not in enough pain, and somehow that's bad news. That's terrible. But hopefully they clear that up for you pretty quick. And that's all I have over here. With that, I'll say 73, and I will pass it to Ron, W2PLK.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, feel better, Mickey. Those are not fun. I have not experienced it, but my father did also, and he didn't have much fun. My wife had hers out, but she didn't experience the long-term difficulties with it that many others do. And Dave, regarding my new radio, it's shiny and it has a lot of buttons. I like it a lot, but I've just barely scratched the surface. But there's a lot going on with this radio, and I like it. You should get one. You should get two. Where are we? Oh, I'm passing it over to Josh. And 73 to everybody. And we'll see you next week. W2PLK.
K2, JOJ here, and I'll say 73 to everybody tonight, and pass it over to Chris, AF2V from Tom, K2JOJ.
Woo! Thanks, Tom. Oh, let's see. Mickey, give me a holler afterwards, man. See how you're doing. Call the hotline, because I got my hotline running. Feel free to call it. Let's see. Oh, anybody who's doing the American Red Cross like WinLink stuff, there's a meeting at 8 o'clock tonight. You probably already got the email, but just as a reminder for anybody who's doing that. And Bernie, I looked at your G90 thing on Radiodity. It's only $4 1/4 for the radio. It's like another $300 for everything else you talked about. So $4 1/4 just for the radio. Not for a 20-watt rig, man. Sorry, I can't swallow that. Oh, if you guys do a park, man, give me a holler. I may want to go with you if you guys will have me. I need to get out and do some parks anyway, so I don't know. Give me a holler. Let me know what you want to do. If you guys are up for it. And with that, I got nothing else. So I will say 73 It's great to hear everybody. Welcomes any new people or people coming back from a while. And I will send it over to Gary, K2MB from AF2B.
Okay, thank you, Chris. K2NB. Yeah, Howard, it's good to hear you back. The wife and I had just a couple days ago, we were talking, I said, who we haven't heard in a while, and we mentioned your name, and you're back, and that's all good. That's just, it's just good. It's good to hear your voice. So I will send it over to Tony, K82BIX from K2NB. Good night.
W2WCR repeater.
Thank you, Gary. Well, welcome back, Howard. Glad to have you back. This is K2BX, and I'm glad to have you here. Fantastic. Haven't heard you in a long time. We thought maybe you went to the great clouds up above there. Oh, well. Nice to hear you, anyhow. And not much going on here. Like I said, we still do our breakfasts and stuff like that. We still have a lot of fun. And just moving right along. Not much going on here. I'm going to turn it over to Ted. Ted, this is my last go around, so I'm going to QSY. You know where I'm going to be. So catch you over there. W3, everybody. Hope everybody has a great weekend. This is K2BX, and we're QSY, and we're gone.
Okay, thanks, Tony. Yeah, I'll see you over there, and give me a couple of minutes before I get over there. But yeah, be over there shortly. Howard, definitely good to hear you. Always good to hear you, and always good to hear the question of who is that guy. Do miss that. So yeah, with that, I'll say 73 and pass it on to Lenny. WB2, MJH, KC2BLE, 73 all, and good night.
Okay, thank you very much, Teddy, and oh my, geez, that's really bad news there, Becky. I hope that you're feeling better soon, and that you're able to get some treatment for that. Doesn't sound like a very pleasant situation. I want to, hope that you can resolve that quickly, get it over with. And okay, and let's see, Ron, I heard you in there, and I'm talking about your nice shiny new radio, so want to wish you a lot of luck with that and a lot of enjoyment with it. And with that, I'll say 73 to everybody on frequency. It was nice chatting with everybody, and we hope that everybody has a great weekend. So I'll turn it over to Dave. This is WB2MJH.
Okay, thanks, Len. This is KD2LMR. Yeah, Mickey, geez, sorry that you're experiencing that. I've never experienced it myself, but I have a friend who has. My wife had her gallbladder out, and she had pretty good pain with that before that. So anyway, I hope you're feeling better soon. Howard, nice to hear you in there. Howard from Gansford. Great to hear you. And let's see. Bernie, POTA Sunday. Yeah, I'm in for sure. It doesn't matter to me that I've already activated once this month. Gosh, I'd activate every week if I could. So yeah, we'll play it. By the weather, and I'm in if you are. And Chris, absolutely. Feel free to join us. We'll hammer it out to see where we're going to end up. Ron, glad that you're enjoying your radio. I imagine you are. It certainly is beautiful to look at, but I imagine that there is a bit of a learning curve. Let me roll this for a second. Okay, I imagine there is a learning curve with that radio for a while, but I guess that's part of the fun. I'm so used to my 7300 that's so intuitive, and after you've used it for a while, there's not much to it. So I kind of like the simplicity of it. But okay, well, I guess we'll say 73 to everyone. Good to hear everyone. A big group in here, and that's nice. So yeah, I'll catch up with you, Bern, and I don't want you to fail that challenge. So yeah, we'll see what we can do. And if you need another challenge, I challenge you to buy me a K4. Okay, with that, we'll say 73 and pass it over to W2SOX from KD2LMR. Night, everyone.
Well, thank you one last time, Dave. 7-3 to everyone, and as another one who owns a ICOM 7300, you cannot go wrong with that radio. It's a heck of a radio. I love mine, and there's a lot of other people who love theirs as well. Best radio for the buck, I think. So that's just my opinion. Also, I wanted to touch on the Zygu G90. I have one. It's a heck of a radio, a lot of fun. Build quality of it's nice. With a lot of those Chinese radios, you typically don't really get a really good bang for your buck, especially on like something like UHF, VHF. This radio is outstanding, and I can't knock it. There's a lot of hams who don't like Chinese radios, and they all tend to usually agree that it's a great, solid radio. And I timed out again on this thing. I got to adjust that. But Bernie, I wanted to ask you if you had seen the amplifier they make specifically for the radio now. It's only about $100 and something, so does 100 watts out on 5N. So, all right, that's it for me tonight, guys. 7-3, and I believe I pass it back to Net. This is W2SOS.
N1NDN. I'm looking at that amplifier right now. It's on sale, $199, and that includes the low pass filter as well. Which I don't know. I'm not sure you really need the low pass filter, but hey, why not? Chris, if you click on the radio itself on Radioddity, you'll see right below the price the 3 units, and you click Add Bundle. And when you do that, you get all 3 units for $425, which is a whole heck of a deal. It really is. Yeah, I owned one of those radios and sold it to Dave, and he uses it for parks on the air and beats me out every time. I have my KX3, and so this is why I'm hesitating to pull the trigger, because I already have a QRP radio. But they're fun. It's almost like buying a Baofeng, you know? Cheap little QRP rig for the park. If I drop it, oh well. If I drop the KX3, I cry. Anyway, all right, so we're going to wrap it up. This is N1NDN, Net Control for the Thursday Night Rag 2 Net. We'll say 7-3. Thank everybody for participating. We'll see you next week. And this was a great net. A lot of discussion and a lot of great information. This is what this net should be. 7-3 all around. N1NDN.